Hey y'all, it's me, Dree. So, last time we talked about what happens after alignment, how your body can still react even though you have already made the shift. And we also talked about how that doesn't mean something is wrong. It just means your system is catching up or recalibrating. But now I think we need to talk about the part that actually determines everything once you get to alignment. And that is what you do in that moment. Because this moment is where most people they'll lose it completely. And that's not because they don't understand. It's because they don't hold in their new position. You see, you can have full clarity. You can see the pattern clearly. You can know exactly what something is. And even though all of that is present, you can still go right back into it. And it's not because you're confused. It's because your body is trying to get you to move. And you haven't learned how to stay yet. You see, this is the difference between reaction and integration. Reaction is immediate, and when you first become aligned, your body still wants to react, which is that feeling you have. It's fast. It feels urgent. And it's telling you, do something. It's saying, fix it, reach out, close the loop, get some relief. But integration, that is the opposite. This is when we train the body not to react. So instead of taking its lead and reacting impulsively in the moment, instead with integration, the opposite happens. Integration, it doesn't rush. It doesn't force. And it doesn't need to move immediately. It says, stay. Sit in this. Let clarity land. And let it pass. Let it move through your body. Let it complete without interference. And all of that is the part that when integration first happens, it feels uncomfortable at first because for so long it was the movement that felt like control, and it was the movement that brought you relief. If something felt off, you responded immediately. If something felt intense, you engaged right away. If something triggered you, you moved towards it. But now you're being asked to do something completely different. You're being asked to feel something fully without acting on it. And when you actually do that, that's where the real shift happens. Because the moment you don't react and you sit long enough, you break the pattern. not intellectually, but physically in your body. And once you break the pattern in your body, clarity follows. Not forced clarity, not analyzed clarity, just clear, matter of fact, can't deny clarity. It just shows up. And then the charge that you were feeling towards that pattern, it dissolves completely and almost instantly. And this is the part people don't realize. They think that it takes time. They think that they need to process it more. They think that they need to go back and understand it deeper, and all of that feels agonizing. But the truth, they don't need to do any of that. What they actually need to do is sit in that uncomfortable space long enough for the integration process to happen. And most people don't. They feel that discomfort and they move right away. They reach, they go back, they re-engage. And the moment they do that, they restart the entire cycle. Not because they were wrong, but because they didn't hold long enough for the pattern to fully break. And that is the difference. That's the difference between you and the majority of the entire world. Because most people in this world, they react. Most people, they relieve the discomfort the second they feel it. And most people go back to what's familiar before the shift has time to lock itself in place. But here's why this pattern runs so deep. Because this didn't start when you were an adult. It started when you were young. It started in relationships that mattered. Relationships that you couldn't walk away from. They were permanent fixtures. So as a child, when something felt off, you couldn't leave. You didn't have the ability. So instead, you adapted. You silenced the voice that said, this isn't right. Because staying connected felt safer than telling the truth. And over time, you conditioned yourself to believe that distortion equals love. So now in this moment, you're not just walking away from a situation, you're undoing an entire belief system that your body believes is true. And that is why it feels so intense, because you're becoming someone who no longer tolerates what you once called love. So when you stay with yourself, when you don't react, something changes, and it changes in a very real way. Almost really in a magical way. Because what aligns next is not even in the same frequency as where you're coming from. And you don't have to chase it. It just meets you exactly where you are, because you finally stopped meeting the things that weren't meant for you. Your capacity, that opens. So, if you're in that moment right now, this is the moment. The one where you choose. And my guidance is choose not to go back. And if you can hold that, really hold it for long enough that your body is able to catch up, then that will happen, and your body will finally match what your mind already knows. And from that place, you're not just understanding alignment, but you're living in it. And from that place, your reality becomes something you are able to navigate. It's no longer something you are simply surviving. And that is freedom, you guys. That's freedom on a whole nother level. That's the message that I have for y'all today. Reminding you, where there is love, there is light. I'm sending my love to you. And I'll be back with another one of these soon.